As the crowd roared, Sabrina could only watch as Clark rewrote the record books.
Well, I mean, if you want to talk about bullies, we can talk about every time Caitlin has the ball, she pushes off.
Right now, 12th in points, 12th in assists, and Alicia Gray.
What did Sheryl Swoopes say about Caitlin Clark that got Stephen A. Smith involved? The basketball world is buzzing, and it's not just about Clark's 19-point game. There's drama brewing, and it's time we break it down. Clark's making waves, but not for the reasons you'd expect. Yeah, she dropped 19 points, but that's not what's got everyone talking. There's a hidden story in those numbers, and it's shaking up more than just the scoreboard. Let's break it down. Clark's not just scoring, she's dominating at the rim. We're talking a 60.4% field goal percentage. That's rookie territory on paper, but veteran moves on the court. When Clark drives to the lane, she's not just playing, she's putting on a show. Remember that narrow victory against the Atlanta Dream? It wasn't just close, it was nail-biting. But here's the thing, that tight score is raising eyebrows for all the wrong reasons. Why? Because with Clark's performance, it shouldn't have been close at all. You might be thinking 19 points is good, right?
Well, I mean, if you want to talk about bullies, we can talk about every time Caitlin has the ball, she pushes off.
It's hard to lose her as a defender. But I like the play call. You put the ball in right.
Saying it's going to be her to stick up for the players in this manner, wanting them to be able to keep the technicals off of themselves.
Sure, but it's what happened during those points that had 7,600 fans holding their breath. Picture this. Clark's driving to the lane. She goes for a floater and boom, ankle roll. For a few heart-stopping minutes, the entire arena went silent. That's the kind of moment that makes you realize just how much is riding on Clark's shoulders. But let's talk about that floater for a second. It wasn't just pretty, it was a game changer. When Clark drives to the lane, she's not just scoring, she's opening up the entire court. She's creating opportunities left and right. So why isn't the scoreboard reflecting that? And here's where it gets interesting. Clark's stellar performance isn't just about points, it's exposing gaps in the team's strategy. She's creating open shots, but her teammates, they're struggling to convert. It's like watching a master chef prepare a gourmet meal only to have the waiter drop it before it reaches the table. This isn't just a Clark issue, it's a team issue, and it's raising some serious questions about the Fever's offensive efficiency. Are they relying too heavily on their star rookie? Is the coaching staff adapting fast enough to Clark's game-changing style? Clark's talent is undeniable, but here's the million-dollar question. Why isn't it translating to more wins? The problem goes deeper than you might think, and it's exposing cracks in the Fever's foundation that nobody saw coming. Let's talk about Kelsey Mitchell for a second. She just dropped 29 points in a game. Sounds impressive, right? But here's the catch. The team still struggled. We're not just talking about a few missed shots. We're talking about easy buckets that should have been money in the bank. Now you might be thinking, okay, but that's just one game. Think again, this isn't a one-off problem. The Fever's big three, Clark, Mitchell, and Boston, they're supposed to be the dream team, but against lower-ranked teams, they're looking more like a nightmare. You know what's really wild? It's not just the starters, the bench. It's like they've gone MIA. Players like Lexi Hall and Nalissa Smith, they're not just underperforming, they're practically invisible on the court. And when your bench is as quiet as a library, that puts a ton of pressure on your starters. Let's break it down. Lexi Hall, she's out there hustling on defense, but offense, it's like she's allergic to the ball. And Nalissa Smith, her game's taken a nosedive. We're talking rebounds slipping through her fingers, shots that wouldn't even scare the rim. But wait, it gets even crazier. Picture this, the Fever against a top team. They're fired up, they're in the zone, but then they face a team at the bottom of the rankings. Suddenly it's like they forgot how to play basketball. One insider put it perfectly. If Kelsey Mitchell has an off night, you know, if Caitlin Clark has a more off night, this was a team that I see a team that tends to get up for big games, and then it's stagnant against lower ranked teams.
For the Fever rookie.
As the crowd roared, Sabrina could only watch as Clark rewrote the record books, showing just how it's done when the stakes are high. Now, if you think Clark's savagery was reserved for the
Charles getting Ryan Howard a wide open shot.
So what's really going on here? It's not just about Clark. It's not just about Mitchell or Boston. It's not even just about the bench. We're looking at a team-wide meltdown, and it's putting a spotlight on some serious questions about the Fever's game plan. Think about it. You've got one of the most hyped rookies in WNBA history. You've got veteran talent that should be lighting up the scoreboard. But instead of dominating, they're barely scraping by. It's like watching a Ferrari stuck in first gear. This isn't just about points on a board. It's about potential versus reality. It's about a team that should be setting the league on fire, but instead, they're struggling to keep the spark alive. And every missed shot, every fumbled pass, every lost game, it's all adding up to one big question mark over the Fever's future. You thought the drama was all about the players. Think again. There's a silent battle happening right under our noses, and it's got nothing to do with who's sinking baskets. What's really holding the Fever back? It's time to take a hard look at the sidelines. Christy Sides is feeling the heat, and it's not just from the arena lights. The Fever's inconsistent energy and those second half slumps, they're pointing straight at the coaching bench. We're seeing a team that comes out blazing in the first half, only to fizzle out like a dud firework after halftime. But wait, it gets worse. Remember all those jaw-dropping plays from Clark we talked about? Well, they're not happening nearly enough. And why? Because someone's not getting her the ball. That's right, we're talking about a serious lack of ball distribution to the team's shining star. You're probably thinking, how is this possible? Clark's a powerhouse.
For other players coming in, right? So people say, dang, like here.
Over there on the sideline for Coach Sides.
Right now, 12 in points, 12 in assists, and Alicia Gray.
Well, here's the kicker. It's not just about Clark's skills. It's about how those skills are being used. Or should we say, not being used. Let's break it down. Picture this. Clark's on fire. She's driving down the court, she passes the ball, and then crickets. Her teammates seem to have an allergy to giving it back. It's like watching a game of hot potato, except nobody wants to toss it to the one player who can actually score. But here's where it gets really wild. This isn't just a player problem, this is a coaching problem. Sides is under fire for not making the adjustments needed to keep the energy up and the ball moving. It's like watching a conductor lead an orchestra where half the instruments are out of tune. Swoopes isn't pulling any punches either. She's calling out the coaching staff for their inability to motivate the team and make those crucial in-game adjustments. It's not just about drawing up plays anymore. It's about lighting a fire under your players and keeping it burning all game long. And let's talk about that offensive strategy for a second, or should we say lack of strategy. We've got a team stacked with talent, but they're playing like they just met each other in the parking lot before the game. Where's the cohesion? Where's the game plan that makes the most of each player's strengths? This isn't just about wins and losses anymore. It's about unlocking the full potential of a star-studded team. Sides has been handed the keys to a sports car, but she's driving it like a minivan. The Fever don't just need a coach, they need a visionary who can see the big picture and make it happen on the court. So here's the million-dollar question. Can Sides step up and turn this ship around? Or is it time for the Fever to look for a new captain? Because right now they're sailing in circles and the playoffs are looking more like a mirage than a destination.